I guess I'll just call it Max White Presents.
Max White, everyone!
Okay. All right. Now we're up and going. Now we're live. Welcome to Max White Presents. We have a very special guest today, a fellow Michigander, one of my friends from Detroit, co-founder of Community Push, Derrick Dykas. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing so well. Thank you so much for coming out and doing this.
No, thank you for having me. This should be fun.
Yeah, dude, I'm psyched. We were just talking before, and what's going on with COVID in Detroit? How are you holding up?
I'm holding up well. I just got my first vaccination shot last week.
What? That's awesome. What was it like? Did it hurt?
No, I felt like any other shot. Maybe a little bit later in the day, my arm kind of got sore.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of a dead arm, like someone's.
Yeah, Charlie horse.
But it was fine the next day. Yeah.
Did you have any trepidation about taking the shot?
No, not really. Like, I've heard various things, but I just kind of want to do my part to get this behind us, and
Definitely,
I think this is our best way.
It's at first I was like, man, I need to read more about this, but now I'm like, you could put that in my jugular, and I don't even care where it comes from.
Yeah,
it's time for us to all go through this. It's also funny. A lot of my friends here are like, I don't know, man, some fucked up chemicals, but then I've seen them do coke off a bar in Brooklyn at 4 a.m.
Oh yeah,
it's
no different than the floor drugs.
Everyone's a little bit straight up bathroom garbage. What's so when's your next shot?
March 4th.
March 4th.
So yeah, about a month after.
What was the testing? What was the whole process like? Is there a super test site in Detroit, or is it just a random spot?
Yes. What they have is it's the TCF Center, which used to be Cobo Hall, right downtown, right next to where Joe Louis was, where the Red Wings played.
Yep.
And they've got a cool drive-through site. It took about 30 minutes.
Wait, you got
to drive through? Car? Yeah.
No fucking way! And, I didn't even know that.
They pull everybody into the floor of the parking garage and just line up cars 5 deep, and they have stations at each car, and they take your paperwork and shoot you. Yeah, it's 30 minutes, and there's it was fairly easy. It was so it's they did we got hit hard.
Definitely.
After New York, I know you guys got it the worst, but when it first started, we with work, we got pulled off of working on any park and just went to doing COVID stuff.
Yeah. That's is it similar to New York there, where people are talking shit if you're not wearing a mask in the street, or is it mellower?
It's it was for a while.
Yeah.
And now it's it's you see a lot less of it now.
Yeah.
And it's alarming, but I think people have just had enough.
Yeah, that COVID fatigue, they're kind of calling it. So I want to talk about Community Push before we go any further. So you're a skateboarder. We know each other through skateboarding. Are you from Detroit originally?
It was born here. Family's from here, and then I moved to suburbs at a very young age.
What suburb?
And I bounced around. We bounced around a lot. My parents got divorced, and we went from Taylor for a brief period to Saline to Brighton to Howell.
Dude, my parents had my dad used to work in Detroit. I mean, both my parents are from Detroit proper, but growing up they lived in Taylor off of Allen Road. Yeah, that has has a weird spot, man. Downriver Detroit is all kind of throwback. It's very interesting.
I don't think I ever spent enough time there to ever claim downriver or any of that, but I did my stint.
They lived there when I was in college. I remember coming down there and being like, what is this? It was not bad, not good, just weird. It's just a lot going on, but not anything going on, if that makes any sense. There's strip malls that are it's insane.
It's like Detroit's Jersey.
Oh, damn, you're right. It is straight up Hoboken.
That and the attitudes and just, you could kind of tell people are from downriver when you meet them.
Dude, I remember for whatever reason, my college roommates were, I was the only white guy, and we'd go down and visit my parents, and their black mall was right by my parents' house, and my friends that were from Detroit were so psyched because you could walk to the black mall, right there, and it was sick. I remember I bought some Iverson Reeboks, and the only t-shirts you could get were tall tees. And the tall tees would be I'd have to get like size small or medium, but it would still go down to my knees. Like those things were so sick. So
They're
from
back.
Detroit, in Detroit, grew up skating. Obviously, what was your first shop, or what was your shop growing up?
Special editions in Brighton,
Ooh, I don't know that one. When did
and
they close?
man, maybe around 2000 or
Okay,
so.
all right.
So like, I started in 96, and as far as, core shops go, like uh, it was a local skater that started it, Jeff Ernest, who ended up moving to work for like South, I think it was at South Shore Distribution for a while.
Yeah.
But his dad ran it. Like, they had like they had a toy machine demo there, that an Osiris demo, and Osiris was,
Did Zoo
you
come
know,
through?
Osiris. Uh,
So the shop I grew up working at on the west side of the state, I was in charge of Zoo when I was like 14. Like when they would come, not in charge of, but like I would make sure that we had two shops, West Michigan, and we had one in was that Royal Oak? I can't remember where it was, but we would bring Zoo out, and like I'd have to drive a van around when I had no driver's license. And
uh,
I remember like we did a demo in like at Airborne in Ferndale. Do you remember that spot?
yeah.
Yeah, and I remember just like this might have been in Grand Rapids, maybe not Detroit, but like it just happened that like who the fuck else was in town? Infamous maybe? I can't remember. I feel like a bunch of the Infamous heads were there, but did you go to some of the Zoo demos?
What demo? I went to a Habitat demo there before.
Ooh. At Airborne?
Actually, no, at Kazoo.
Oh, okay, at KZU. Okay.
I think it was the Trisect tour when they did that one.
Yeah, was Janoski on that one? Do you remember what Habitat, or was that? I wonder, dude. We might have been at the same.
It was Habitat Workshop, or not, Seek.
Oh, I was totally at. That's the only other shitty skate trivia on the app game. The only what's the only other board company Rob Dyrdek has ever skated for? Seek.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a Seek board? Do you remember those?
And like growing up, like I loved all, Workshop, Habitat, Seek. Like, it wasn't even around that long, but that tour is like, it was like we kind of like followed them around. It's like they had a shop signing, TWC, or was it TWC? No, it was Special Editions. They had one, and we ended up taking them downtown to skate that night. Out of like the three teams of riders, like the only ones that wanted to go skate. Like when we met up with them was Josh Kalis, Greg Myers, Flo, and Alex Carolino, out of like three teams. Like the only guys, because I don't think the tour like went through Detroit.
Yeah.
But
that's
like, I was still
Greg Myers. Remember when he ruined the DC video? Just a little kid in the middle of Legends. What happened to that dude? Was he sick? I never met him.
He was nice, and it was cool because I think I was either still in high school or maybe 18 or just gotten out, and it was the first time us really I had to experience like showing teams around and stuff, and like I just remember Kalis being fucking coolest guy, and like and they just wanted to skate and see spots, and then we took them to Fort Street, and they ended up going back the next day and getting tricks on the rail and stuff. So
sick.
It was cool because like back then you never saw Detroit in magazines or videos, and like it was few and far between. It was like once every other year or something you'd see it.
That was like the best iteration of Habitat. Probably was that like probably Papalardo winning were around with Alien.
Yeah, this was definitely pre-Mosaic.
And then wow, I feel like I was at that demo, man. I think that's a possibility. What did they do for so you brought them, like when teams come in, now it's so much different because of Detroit is obviously it's just a way different scene. But I remember when like Zoo came through Michigan and my local skate shop, I was like 13 or 14, and they're like, they thought they died and gone to heaven with like the beach and everything on the west side of the state. And then I remember going to the demos on the east side with them and like having to bring back girls they met, like Harold Hunter, and meeting girls and bringing them back to West Michigan, and then they would like drive out, leave to go like to the next city, and then there would just be random girls stuck at our skate shop, like not ours, my boss's skate shop. Like
wait, what shop was that again?
Chapter 11 Sports.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was a fucking awful name, but Ned was like, I started working there when I was 12. I mean, I grew up in a skate shop. That's probably why I'm damn near special needs.
But no, that's important for kids. Like, it's
I mean,
I
dude,
hope
I
that
got
never goes away because, how many friends have you met and good stories you have from just bullshitting at the skate shop? I'm
oh,
36. I'll
dude.
still go just hang out at the skate shop.
Yeah, it was weird to work in a skate shop all my life and then own one for 5 years and then see the difference of like I can't like anyone that owns a shop now or ever. I don't care who they are. You have such a tremendous amount of respect for them. Like it's
Absolutely. Like,
so
we
fucking
need, we
hard.
need them.
Speaking of hard things in skateboarding, tell me about Community Push because we didn't we didn't hit on this yet. Before I go fly into some like crazy stories. So Community
Uh,
Push is
yeah,
just tell me what Community Push is.
it's a nonprofit that I started in 2014, just to kind of help push skateboarding out here and kind of help help it at whatever crossroads or whatever it needs. And there was you know things kind of moving, things that we were kind of doing on our own anyways, and it made sense. And people are going to talk to you differently, and they're going to be more receptive to what you have to say if you have a little bit of structure behind what you're doing. And
In terms of projects wise, like so people that aren't from there don't know skateboarding wise though, but when was like the first time some of the projects being like you would build skate parks essentially, like DIY spots, right? That's how it started.
that's actually kind of how it started, but like at this point, like it can't really pigeonhole us as just like DIY guys anymore, because
Yeah,
like
definitely not.
over the last 5-6 years, we've kind of done it all. And that's exciting. And even when it came to DIY stuff, like hell, I didn't even really completely know what I was doing when I got into it. I got everything we did, like learned a little bit here and there going through, and now I can almost confidently say I know what I'm doing. But it's been a lot of different stuff, and every different thing's a learning process. And I
So
don't know,
what
it's
what was the genesis? Like what started it originally? What was it? A need to improve your neighborhood around you, or was it just because you didn't have shit to skate?
uh
Which I guess is
shit,
the
a
same
little bit of
question.
both. Like, yeah, a little bit of both. It's since hell, even before I moved here, I moved here in 2010. uh I was working on trying to get a skate park built in front of the train station. uh and you know we had good progress with that, and we got to do throw a couple really cool parties. I think we brought like S out uh one year for it. It was like Mike Anderson and Jimmy McDonald came, and like
That's so sick.
it was seriously the week that like they first announced that they were season operations of S.
Yeah.
So it was like in a sense like the last trip, but it was just those two and Scuba Steve. And
Did you?
we had a little set up in the street, and
So what year are you talking?
this was 2011, I think that was.
Did you? Oh, damn. So that's still before, like, for those that don't know, like, the train station in downtown Detroit is like what you always see on the news when it talks about like Detroit being
Yeah,
revitalized and what do they call it? Like, ruin porn is like the term for
it,
what they do
yeah,
in
it
Detroit.
was. And like it's been in countless movies. And
Yeah, yeah,
it really is a site. It's a beautiful building. There's a
yeah.
lot of history there. And just recently Ford bought it
Oh,
to
did they?
make as part of their headquarters. So yeah, that's all been.
No. What have you seen? Oh, before I go into that, what's it like when you like 2011 when you bring a team in and they're like, oh, we want to go check out some spots. Like, do you take them to Northwestern? Do you give them like the full fucking like treatment, like exposure therapy? Call it because Detroit goes hard. Like,
Well, like Northwestern is just such a great spot. Like that's
it's amazing.
if you see any spot in Detroit, it should be Northwestern.
Yeah,
It's but that's why you starting to see a lot of the teams that are coming through. They're all at the same kind of spots, because like there's really the surface spots like Northwestern and Hart Plaza and like the New Center ledges. But like it's only if a team's here for a couple days. But
yeah.
like you start like now like people are coming through and spending like serious time here. And that's when you start getting to like the nitty gritty spots and like the fun stuff that no one's seen before. Because especially with the team, and you have a variety of people wanting to skate a variety of things. So it's been there's never been a lack of spots here. But it's cool
Definitely not.
because as time goes on, like more and more spots are getting exposed, and not just exposed but fixed up. And there's new spots being built all the time. It's constantly changing.
It seems like in Detroit, well, I see there's spots everywhere. It's just a matter of like, what's your risk tolerance for neighborhood for the locals? Like, I mean, what's your experience in terms of like being robbed at spots?
I had a brick thrown through my window at Northwestern one time,
Okay, I know a story of.
and
Can I say the team about the whole team getting jacked when they got back to the house?
I just found that story out
Oh, you did?
uh recently. Yeah,
Oh, dude, that was
because
like, yeah, we can. I mean, we can say it. We just don't have to say what team it was.
yeah,
I
and
want to say what team it is. It's so fucking gnarly,
what
dude.
they should,
That to
and
me is like a classic Detroit story, and I don't know why, but that like in terms of when things go bad, they go really bad. Does that make sense?
yeah, but like it happens, and like the few times it does happen is like when you hear about it.
Yeah,
Uh, you know, that's one instance I've had in more than 20 years of skating down here.
yeah,
So,
that's a good point. And I'm also from the
but
suburbs,
like,
and I'm from the other side of the state, so maybe it's just like it has more teeth in my mind than maybe it does. But let's just
yeah,
will you share the story and your version of it, and then we'll compare notes. Do you mind?
well, no, I wasn't there for that one, but when yeah, we were skating at Northwestern. I think it was 2003, maybe.
Okay.
Uh, I remember I had the seafoam dunks, the high tops that probably go for $1,000 right now.
Yeah.
But we were there and we were skating on the other side of the building. So it wasn't like too bad.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have any like confrontation. Like I came back around the building in my car and my next toe was gone.
Oh, damn! They got your two-way
That was
chat.
it. And then they tried to sell it back to me. But
That's very Detroit.
no, I've been fortunate, and the the element of danger is always there, and
For sure. We the other story I was talking about though, and I think it's the same, and maybe we'll cut this, but you tell me what you think. So basically, a team was in town, a very big team with a lot of money, a lot of travel budget, and they're staying with a local. They went out filming all day. When they came back to the house where they were staying, there was dudes in ski masks and guns on the porch, right? Like
yeah,
basically squatted out, and they took them for everything: camera, cash, wallets. I mean, they're lucky they got out alive.
yeah,
Yeah. So is that
yeah,
pretty accurate? Is that what kind of happened?
yeah. Not my story to tell, but yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
that's
Maybe
how
I
I
shouldn't
heard
tell.
it.
What's is that
Oh,
about? Okay. I'll
you
sleep
know,
on this side if I want to delete because it isn't my story to tell.
uh,
But I didn't mention any specifics. But it is an example of like, I guess the point I'm getting across. Like I
yeah,
remember.
but like
Keep going.
that could happen anywhere.
Totally. But specifically, I remember another team that was in town and they had stopped by my shop in West Michigan, and then I went and met them down in Detroit, and we'll call it a couple California hot boy type kids that that building across the Northwestern, the dilapidated one that everyone goes up in.
Yeah, Lee Plaza.
Yeah, and they were acting like fools down there, man. Like just super loud and you're like, yeah, we don't. I mean, dude, how bad? This isn't bad. It's all in your mind. And like, dude, the natives came out, man. They were fucking not psyched. And this lady came up to me and she's like, "You people need to show a lot more respect when you're in this neighborhood." And she just told it like right to me, and I was just like, "Oh man!" Like, I mean, she was right, 100%.
And that's 100% plausible because a lot of times like you have to respect where you're at.
Dude,
People do come to town and think like, oh, everything's sweet here, and they just like run
yeah,
amok, and like I don't know, sometimes they get checked like
yeah,
that.
for sure. I've seen
But like
Jerry. I'm
like
not gonna tell any Jerry stories because Jerry Mraz is fucking the best storyteller ever.
yeah,
He's got some stories. I think the first time I went to Northwestern, actually, I met him there, and my mom went to like high school there for a couple years, actually, like way back in the
okay,
day, and then she transferred to Cody. Do you know where that's at?
that's where my parents went. Yeah,
Oh, fucking crazy. Okay, all right.
yeah,
So,
we're Warrendale.
okay, all right. Yeah, they I remember like my parents, my dad's job changed, so like they moved to Detroit when I was in college, and I remember going down there and skating, mostly Hart Plaza. We go down there and skate around town because it was like, fucking awesome. That is like the sickest
It,
plaza, and there was no bus factor kind of back then. I mean, we're talking 20 years ago though, so we're 10, no, 15, 20 years ago. Damn, I'm old. Um,
yeah,
so when you started, wait, is Painted Lady still around? And
yeah,
oh,
New
sick,
Hampshire.
that bar,
Yeah,
that bar's awesome. Just
yeah.
I like that area a lot. So did you so community put like what was Community Push's first project that got them on the map?
The first project we did was the wig,
Okay.
and that was we had adopted an abandoned city park,
Yeah.
and
That's Wiggle
got
Park,
some,
right? That's the
yeah,
Weigel.
Weigel, yeah,
Wiggle.
yeah, and I just nicknamed it the Wig after I grew up skating the Naz,
Okay.
which was the Nazarene Church in Brighton. That
Yeah.
the church let everyone build wooden ramps in the parking lot.
Did they
So
try to convert you? Did they try to convert you when you built the ramps there?
they did they didn't
Oh, you
convert
froze
me,
up there
but
a little bit. My bad.
no, like, I didn't build anything. I was still just a kid, so I got to see that as a young kid, and that definitely you know left a mark on me. So
They
you know
oh no, in my hometown, they this like church built like a huge fucking sick mini ramp in the back, and the rule was you could skate once, then you had to come to like a sermon thing or whatever they call it, and everyone just kept skating. And then they tore it down. We just go back and be like, nah. I don't think they weren't trying to fuck any kids, but like maybe just
you
their
can't
minds.
say that confidently. You never know what these
I
churches.
know. I mean, if I'm being honest, I think they
but
definitely.
but like the outdoor park was it was successful in the parking lot for a number of years. And then they built like a subdivision in the area and like kind of forced them inside. So like the church actually built like a pole barn and an indoor park inside that you
Damn.
would that you could skate for free if you went to service, but if you didn't, it was like $2 or $3.
That's so weird. It's always something with churches and skateboarding.
Yeah,
Like we got paid once like $150 each to go skate like a demo. I was probably
yeah,
12 or 13 at this like church, and I remember them giving us a tour. They like picked us up in a van. They brought like like we had like a mini ramp, not a mini ramp, like two fly ramps. This is like
yeah.
mid 90s, and they brought us out there, and then they like gave us a tour. And there's like these perfect granite ledges like right in the middle of the church in this like area, and like someone tried to skate it. I'm not a good ledge skater. I'm not a good skater, but but I remember them being like right on, like it was creepy.
Oh yeah.
They're like, yeah, destroy my ledge. I don't trust any of you motherfuckers.
like they were good to kids. Like the older I got, like it kind of bummed me out a little bit on some of the shit they did, but
Yeah.
I don't know, but like more recent, I think they closed, but like someone was just telling me that like it's still there and like but you couldn't go skate it if you were over 25 or something.
Oh, it's like fucking Chuck E. Cheese or some shit. You got to bring a
Yeah,
kid.
but like
Weird.
I get it, but at the same time, like I said, like starting skating in Brighton in like the mid 90s, like they had such a sick scene. And like some of those
Yeah.
guys that were skating back then were like light years ahead of everybody,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
That's
like
so
it had, still like a lot of like, big skate, not big, but a lot of the good guys from like around here, like Pac Alloway, Steve
Fucking,
D'Agostino, Garrett Blair, like
I'm going to go
like there's like a
Danforth.
hotbed of
Before
talent
that,
there.
Bill
And
Danforth.
and Brighton was like ahead of the curve because
Yeah.
in 2000 they had two skate parks in one little suburb.
Yep.
One at the church, and then the city built one behind Myers, but it was an outdoor park that they charged money to skate.
Yeah. What was the Vans Park that they built?
That was in Novi. Yeah.
Oh, I remember we brought Zoo there, and this the lady working there tried to make Harold Hunter wear knee pads. And he was like, "Man, fuck you!" And then we went like they just barged it. It was like Harold, Anthony Correa, like Supa. It was like a heavy team. It was like a really good one. And I remember like Harold had fallen, and they'd called the cops to kick him out. And Harold had fallen. She's like, "See, you fell. Like you definitely need to wear a helmet." And he goes. He's like, "Lady, Michael Jordan missed his shots and just skated away." So rad. And I have like this Midwest guilt. So like as much as shit as I talk, I don't want to be. I have a tough time barging a lot of like skate park stuff. Like I feel rude. It's not mine, even if it is religious. Have you seen the movie Spotlight?
No, I have not.
So it's a movie about. It's based on true story. The Boston Globe basically exposed the entire Catholic churches for all the pedophilia. And at the very end of the movie, like I forgot how many, it's like thousands of cases they found out, and all the priests being moved around the country. But at the very end, they list the churches and the cities of where they had known sexually like basically assaulters were living, and it's the church I grew up. One of the churches I grew up skating is one of them.
Oh my god!
And that they never tried to pipe your boy out, dude. That's how homely I was. They're not psyched on me at all. But all right, so
something needs to be done about these churches.
I know it's almost like they're breaking the law and should get caught.
Do you know how many municipal problems would be fixed if they taxed churches?
Oh, dude, so much. They don't pay
Like
anything. Like, and they're not even slick about it either. Like, evangelical churches in particular. Like, it is weird though that why did they pick 25 years old to not let other people skate there? Like, that's their cutoff.
they didn't want competition. I don't know.
Or
But
like, they
it might
probably
not.
just want like there's like probably like twinks are like what they age out at like 22, and so they
I
don't
don't know.
they have a certain type of dude. That's a
I hadn't been there since maybe 2009, 9 or 10,
okay.
because yeah, like I don't I did a lot helping with the park and with the indoor park and it all, and then I kind of fell into some trouble, and when we tried to get like a like a character statement from the church, they just said no.
What?
Yeah,
Because you
so
didn't believe in the Lord?
I don't know the reasonings, but no, like like they didn't want to help me like when I needed them. So
Okay, yeah.
I never thought twice about that place since. But like the outdoor NAS, like that, that's what I grew up skating, and like
Okay.
and that really like I like that place was huge for me in my formative years, and like the
Yeah.
being a younger kid and having like a good group of like older guys to kind of look up at, they especially back then, like skateboarding wasn't nearly as friendly as it is now.
Fuck no. I remember like the skate park I grew up skating at, like if you rode a bike, dudes would beat you up. Like you had to use your skateboard as transportation too. Like it was like way different than it is now. It was like no acceptance at all. Like
Yeah.
at all. What's so you build Wig, right? You start working on Wig, and then Wig gets a lot of attention. Like I remember hearing about it. What year did you like? What's the first? When did you call break ground at Wig?
It was like like late August of 2014.
Okay, and
And then
then so what happens time wise was right at Sculpture Park because that was before.
yeah, that was a
Yeah.
couple years before. Yeah.
So that's like when Tony Hawk was involved, and like so how did that even start?
That was kind of like their own project, and I'd help uh with a little bit with like fundraising, and then when it came down to building, I went out to help them, and like I don't know, all those guys were fucking dicks.
Were they
So
really?
like yeah, so I was kind of like, all right, like my help's
Was
not
it
welcome.
from his
Like
foundation, or did they hire like
no,
one of
no, it was it was like the some of like the San Francisco guys,
Gotcha. Okay, I know what
and
you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, like I don't know, like I'm here to help. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be talked to like a fucking kid,
Yeah.
trying to help. So like I don't know. So yeah, I haven't helped much over there.
The are they still working or adding onto it?
Yeah, like they keep getting you know grants every couple of years and keep adding on to. I think they're doing another grant or another phase this year.
So they're all getting grants for that Ride Sculpture Park, but like, does that compete against your grants for doing other stuff?
No, no, not really. Like that, we've
First
been
off,
able
isn't
to.
Tony Hawk a billionaire? Doesn't he? Why do they still need grants?
Well, like it's helped. Like we're like real lucky because like the Tony Hawk Foundation for the most part, for the most part, they only do grants up to like $30,000.
Okay.
But since they've teamed up with the Ralph C. Wilson Foundation out of northern New York, or
Okay.
north, like out of the Buffalo area,
Yeah.
and so now they're doing these built to play grants that are matching grants up to $250,000.
Wow.
But you have to be in Southeast Michigan or like greater Buffalo area to get them.
Huh.
So like, that's really jump started a lot of projects out
That's
here.
huge.
And
That's a lot of money. What? So when you get those,
it,
so
it is, but like they're kind of having trouble like because it's a matching grant. So
oh,
it's like, yeah,
dude, really?
we'll help you, and it's got to be like a matching grant to complete the project.
So yeah. So you have to put all
And
the sweat equity in and then raise the money, then they'll match it.
yeah, and but which is still great, like
Yeah.
and like we're lucky, just that it's happening here. But some of the cities are kind of having trouble getting the matching grants.
Just because they're
And
having a tough time raising the money.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
because that's a shit ton of money. Like,
it is, and especially now, like I work in the parks department. I get to see like the spending, like how much it costs to build playgrounds, basketball courts, and like you grow up thinking like $1 million skate park is like so unattainable and so, but it's just because the cities aren't prioritizing skateboarding. They're still not
Yeah.
taking it serious, and like it breaks my heart so much to see, skateboarders constantly like having to fundraise for parks. It's like basketball players don't have to fundraise for basketball courts. Like, it's like skate parks, cities are still treating them like, like a compromise, not, like
Yeah,
any
it's
other
like a
part of
liability.
recreation.
Like oh, that's where the kids go. I mean, I remember the last time I was in Louisville. I was at that skate park there. You remember that? Like with the full or the it's got a full pipe and then it's got the fucking insane proper vert ramp. Have you been down
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, it's up. I think they moved it.
Yeah, they moved it like down, but this
Like,
was right before they had moved it.
yeah,
But basically, there was an undercover newscaster that like went through the hidden camera and tried to buy drugs from kids at like 1 a.m. And like like the kids ended up being like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Like like it's like this like dude that looks like me, like in his 30s, but probably looks like 25-ish with receding hairline. And he's like, what's up? Can I buy some marijuana cigarettes? And like, but there's this stigma attached to skate parks. It's like nothing bad happens at basketball courts. And so your job
yeah,
as a community organizer, has that been kind of shaping the narrative now as to like what the future of skateboarding is, how you can be trusted?
like I think that narrative's shaping itself. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's old preconceived notion about how lazy skateboarders are, but ask anyone that's been around them. So they're the most talent, some of the most talented people out there.
Sure.
And what really changed the conversation here, I think, is like when the city started seeing people show up in numbers and people that care.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of park spending on like facilities that don't get used. And as a park planner and a park designer, like you don't want to see that. You don't want to see like because a lot of these parks, sometimes you do them once and like you don't get to spend money there for another 15 or 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's just like skate parks, you only get to do it one time, and like why not get it right, and like why not invest in something that is getting used. And the wig, with the success of the wig, it ended all of those conversations. Like I'm so happy we don't have to have that conversation anymore, talking about like why skate parks and why these public spaces are good ideas, because we just proved it. It's been proven all over the world.
Yeah.
And and I'm thankful, like working in a city like Detroit, where they're listening to us. They're they're investing in us. And I know it's not like that everywhere, but like it's been great here because like they see the value in skateboarding. And
Now, I want to just cover something for the Wig social media, which you run, right?
mostly, yeah, like a couple other people have the passwords, and
But specifically,
but
when they closed the Wig down, what year was that?
2019.
So in 2019, you had posted, and this is the last post on the account, I believe, right? Is it Dear Midtown? The kids are coming for your street spots.
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah.
Is that you? That is the fucking. It's the most true and like the illest shit ever. Because why did they close it?
Development. And
Yeah.
when we adopted the park, we were exposed to it the whole time.
Yeah.
And I wish it could have went differently, but like we knew it was going to happen. And but like the hardest part was just like they pretty much like played with us for 4 years, saying
Yeah.
it's going, it's staying, it's going, it's staying. And like that was draining. A friend of mine made the reference that we're like a shitty furniture store that needs to have a going out of business sale every year to stay afloat. And
It's like 100% true. Well, and also too, you guys were kind of like the pasties on like the tits that are Detroit. Like with everything going on with Detroit being cool, that was a stretch for a metaphor. I'll acknowledge that. But like of all the imagery I'd see of like Detroit being revitalized, remember like the ruin porn, the Vice specials of like we're fucking artists, we compost, like all this shit going on. They didn't. I mean, there are some examples where they did interview real people, but I know a couple people from here in Brooklyn that had nothing to do with it that were on certain shows talking about the revitalization of Detroit. It's complete bullshit. The town was revitalized, but not by these like outside interests that were like, it was already cool before they showed up. And a lot of the
Yeah.
imagery, I would see like the wig in there, or I'd even see Ride at Sculpture Park, or I'd see some other stuff. I mean, it's a very parasitic process.
Yeah.
Um,
And
we'll keep going. So
oh
I
no, go
guess my
ahead.
question,
Sorry.
my question was, is like, what is that? Is that actually harmful to your overall picture, or is it just any more set of eyes is good?
Yes and no. Like it definitely made things easier. Like I was saying earlier about how like these other cities are, struggling to raise money for their parks.
Yeah,
It's like that's because, suburban Detroit isn't as sexy to some of these companies as Detroit proper.
definitely.
And we really just started doing stuff at the right time. And when a lot of the stuff was happening, it was a good, stroke of luck. Uh but you know, clubs, those have existed forever. There's neighborhood organizations that, have been, fighting their fight for years that don't get any credit.
Yeah, that's like,
And
yeah,
I'm
definitely saw
super
a lot of
thankful
that.
that, like, when we started, like, you know we started right away with, a check from Red Bull with no scope of work. Then, like,
Wait, what does that mean?
like,
You can just do whatever you want with it?
yeah, like they helped us
Sick.
get the land and
And
gave
that's
us
for
a
the new
check.
project, right?
No, that was the old one
Oh, wow. Okay.
for the wig.
Okay.
Like when we went into that, like, they helped us go through the process the adoption process, and then gave us a check with zero scope of work. And it went
That's
from like
amazing.
they initially wanted to do a documentary on it,
Okay.
and then the closer we got, they backed off of that, and then they were going to send somebody out for, I think, a Transworld article. They backed out of that, and then it just ended up coming down to them sending out Zared for the day to
Dude,
skate.
that's the best. Former
It,
guest
it
Jared
was cool,
Bassett.
yeah. Yeah,
That's full circle, man. That's amazing.
yeah, and like, that, he was there for like a couple of hours. Like he flew
Yeah.
in and out that day, and like in like the brief period of time, he did the fucking hardest thing I've seen the whole time
Dude, what do you
that
do?
place was there.
Call it out.
uh the
I gotta see this
the
clip.
first year, that we were there was like the gym that was attached to this, the property.
Yeah. Okay, I
And
remember
like, so
that.
like we started, late summer, and then like the next spring they had torn it down, so it was pretty short lived.
Okay.
But this gym, we had wall rides all the way down. The wall kind of like was recessed and like kind of went back and forth, and like we had wall rides all the way down this whole building. And on this one big wall, we did the transitions on one side, and then cut out a hole in the wall like a death box, and he went through and frontside grinded like the top of the death box, which, like, which was something that we joked about when we were cutting out the wall. Like, oh, that'd be sick if someone came through and grinded the top part of it. And
Dude.
he just came and nonchalantly did it.
Oh my god, he's like the most. And I've seen a lot of skateboards, but I mean, not that I'm shit in terms of my opinion, but no one has been more impressive to see in person skate than that guy.
Oh yeah,
It's
he's
like
definitely top five for me.
it's like a throwback to the old pros, but then new ones. Like it's just this like awesome. I don't know how else to
Yeah,
explain it.
he's you know
Yeah,
he's
and
the
the fucking
best. Like,
coolest guy. Yeah, for sure.
nicest guy. Yeah, and like,
Yeah,
like
so
after that,
rad.
like I think when I met out with you that one time, we had met a couple of times through him coming out here, and then like, I think it might have been that trip when I came out. Like, I hit him up and like, yeah, I just went skating with him and Dave Cato all day, and we went spot searching
Fucking
through Harlem. And
that's
like, man, like the
yeah.
high school, like me, like was fucking tripping out. Like,
Yeah, dude, and you got the Kato fucking Goose Chase, another former guest.
fuck,
Like
man, like,
that, the Kato episodes were the one that I got when the podcast was just on audio. That's the one I get the most emails for. Like every time he'd be on here, dude.
and those guys, like, man, I couldn't walk the next day after
Dude,
chasing those guys around all day.
that's a huge thing with New York. Of like when people come to visit, not even skaters, when people just come to see New York for the first time, like they can't walk the next day when you take them on like a proper tour. Let alone add skateboarding to that, and then add Kato, where you're going up and down the hills of like just he searches on Google Earth, susses something out. I mean, dude, when I first moved here and had wasn't doing a lot of shows, like that's like our days were just spent going up and down all the different boroughs looking for spots. It's fucking awesome. What
Yeah, and
so back to community push right now. What project are you guys working on like now as we speak, or are you just shifted to being like a parks employee? How does this work?
Oh no, like I wear both hats every day.
Yeah, yeah.
So like it's cool. Like with my job, like I'm an operations assistant for the park development unit. So I, pretty much oversee 300 parks,
Wow.
and we have 11 guys working on them full time.
Damn.
And so I do a lot of driving around at parks, inventorying stuff. So like I get to do some skate stuff, but not it's skateboarding is just such a small part of recreation. But it looks like this year, like I'm gonna be able to build a DIY park at work,
What?
which I'm super excited about. My boss kind of brought it up. He's a really cool guy, and or like one of my bosses. It's like Office Space. Like I think I have 4 or 5 bosses between me and the mayor.
Yeah. Oh no way.
But
You got a direct line to the mayor.
but like I mentioned earlier, playground equipment so fucking expensive. Park benches, like those butter benches everyone likes to skate,
Yeah.
$1,000.
Dude, people have
Yeah.
no respect for those when they skate.
No.
Wait, what's up with the stuff that's like in the playgrounds, the stuff that's for kids, like the soft stuff?
The
You know,
the spongy, yeah.
yeah.
That's
Why do they
that's
need
for
that?
surface.
Why do they need that
It's
shit?
for impact. Like it's to like in
I
case
know,
a
I
kid falls
get
off the
why, I
playground.
get what it does and why they need it, but why do they need that shit? Kids need to toughen the fuck up. Like, I remember playing on
Man,
straight concrete.
like if you look, you can Google and like look up like 30s and 40s playground equipment, and the stuff is so gnarly. Like
It's like 3 knives on top of like a boardwalk.
with a rusty pole to slide down.
Yeah, yeah. And then that also described like Detroit strip clubs. I guess being like a community organizer, which you still are, and then now that's your job full time and that's a government job. Is it a tough transition?
Um, it was in the sense that the pace of work is fairly slow.
Yeah.
It's like there's like private sector, volunteer sector, public sector. And
Bureaucratic.
like my first month, like I just you know I didn't, not even the first month, like I kind of just felt like when I started, like I was trying to, like everyone thought I was trying to do too much, but at the same time I just felt like I wasn't really doing enough.
Yeah.
uh
So wait, just to
but
clarify this, so was it like coworkers or like slow the fuck down?
no, not at all. It's
Okay.
just kind of like the way things run, and it's hard because like we're so spread thin across the city that we just can't get to everything. And
Yeah.
especially since COVID, we've been our hours have been reduced. Like we went from work being able to write our own checks with overtime to 32 hours a week.
Wow.
So now we got with 11 people, 3 of them are managed,
Yeah.
management aren't really supposed to be physically doing the work, and like we're spread too thin, like. And so like
That's interesting because in a time like COVID, when people are outside more than ever, you need parks now more than ever.
and like that showed it, like we got, we couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
When COVID started, we had to go remove all the basketball hoops off all the backboards,
I forgot they did that here too. That's like the
and
most fucking stupid.
like
Yeah.
I understood it, and like I felt way too much like a cop doing it. I hated
Dude,
doing it.
that's gotta be
But like
interesting. Yeah.
I was surprised, like going out, like we got way more thank yous than we did fuck yous.
Really?
And
Maybe I'm wrong in my
that was
opinion.
good, because like that we're kind of desensitized to COVID now, but
Yeah.
it was really fucking scary when it started, and
Yep.
like and still is, and like it but that took us weeks to do that. And
Dude.
then like all of a sudden, like, oh, we have to go put them back, and then we go to put them all back, and then there's a couple extra, like uh-oh, what part did we miss?
That's very government. That's very
but
government.
but no, it's been great. Like I love everyone I work with.
Yeah.
It's really been cool, like you know them listening to me, on a skateboard perspective,
For sure.
being considered their skateboard expert when anything skateboard related comes to the city, like
That's the
never,
guy.
oh, just ask Derek,
Yeah. What's
and
that? What? I guess my question is, what? Why would a city adopt skateboarding? Why have minds change in that aspect? Is it just because of community organizers like you? That's what I think, or is it? Do they see? Are they starting to see the benefits of having a skate park around?
I believe so. And like, the statistics are out there on like,
Oh,
just the benefits, the use. And it's like you grow up thinking like, oh, all these skate park problems, with like graffiti and trash and people partying, like, you don't want them to parks get shut down. But like that's every park,
yeah, 100%.
and they're not just skate park problems, they're park problems. And so like, I almost like growing up trying to, get skate parks, going. It's like, you're almost, you're fearful of like the other side. And like, but like in terms like it's silly that that other cities aren't, following through and building skate parks and having skateboarders having to pay for their own damn skate parks. It's absurd. And like, like, the cities that haven't jumped on board yet, they're going to jump on before too long, because this, like I said, jury's out on it. It works.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing too. Like, yeah, I mean, like you said, the numbers don't lie on any of this stuff. But there's a huge thing where my shop was at, because we had like a park, but like a classic, basically what these cities will do is they'll get Grindline or what's the other one? Dreamland? No, what's the other one?
Yeah, Dreamland's
Dreamland,
one. Yeah,
yeah. Grindline, Dreamland, Evergreen, all these big old companies to like draw up plans, and then what they do is they just steal the plans. Not this is in every city, but this is what happened where I'm from, and then they basically bid out the contract to local contractors. So these people don't skate, and so that's what happened in Grand Haven where I'm from. Apparently, that's just, and this is before I had a shop. But when they built our park, it sure it was a beautiful park with the plan, but like the way they made it, there's simply things that are like, what? Like they had to redo the Euro gap. Like how much did that cost? And like,
yeah,
because
and
it's little things like just because you can cut a piece of wood doesn't mean you can make like a fine cabinet. Same thing as with
absolutely.
skateboarding.
And you know, I think the '90s and early 2000s were like a good like sample era for skate parks. Because most of them all fucking sucked.
Too.
you know,
Yeah.
it, for years, everywhere was riddled with wooden ramps and prefab
Dude,
casted cement. And
prefab wooden ramps with like the metal on the bottom, and then they would let that shit sit in a Michigan winter, and then the spring they'd go and take photos, and then like we used to go to all the city meetings. And I remember them being like, "Well, you don't take care of what you have now." It's like you spent $1,000 on a 2 foot fucking launch ramp. Like,
yeah,
remember those like little the fab ones that would like
yeah,
they would rock over if you went too slow.
but
Yeah,
and so like with that, like we know what bad parks are, and it's like parks, they got good, but now I almost feel like a lot of these companies are just overbuilding, trying to like flex their portfolio instead of actually building skatable shit.
so that's the other side you're saying, and that's like skateboard
Yeah,
park companies.
well, and also with like a bad park's gonna happen if there's no local input.
Yeah.
And the city, cities for years would take your skateboard, give you tickets, but then like when it comes to building a park, like they don't want to hear you out. And
No,
that's when you
yeah.
get stuck with like you know California, or not California, who does those? American Ramp Company.
Oh my
They're the
god,
ones that do like those like precast
dude.
cement ones, or like even
Yeah.
more recently, like Evergreen. Like they've done a couple of parks out here, but like nobody likes to skate them.
It's
And
really weird. They built one in
the
Belding,
craftsmanship's,
Michigan. That's like a perfect
what's
old
that?
man park, but they did one in Belding, which is like middle of the state. It's like a perfect old man park, but you're like, dude, no one's gonna appreciate this shit here. Like, I don't know how much it costs, but it's weird.
Well, the thing, yeah, they work cheaper than everyone else, and
Okay.
so they've been doing the craftsmanships on the parks, great. Like the
Yeah.
blends they do with cement wise are like very impressive, but like man, those things just aren't really that fun to skate. And
Yeah.
like all the suburbs north of Detroit have them, uh, and it's like it's kind of a bummer sometimes, because like yeah, those parks look great from a drone shot. Like the
Yeah.
scooter kids are happy, but like as skateboarder, it's like, some of that stuff, it's fun, but like I think I'd be bummed if that was one of my local parks that I
Yeah,
had
and
to
there's
skate
also a
every day.
problem with the one in Belding. I skate a lot of Evergreen out west too, but there's also like they're like not a lot of people can use them at once. Like the one in
Yeah,
Belding, there's
absolutely.
like one through line.
They're collision courses, like flyout
Yeah,
factories, and like
yeah,
it's 2020. We don't need a park with a bunch of rollover coping and like
dude.
speed humps on the flat bottom of the bowl. Like,
Yeah, and stairs that go to dirt, which I think they do that. Is that kind of like a thing where like I'm trying not to go into a bad metaphor, but it's hard for me. But it's like I had this feeling that they build this. It's not just Evergreen; it's other companies, but they'll build stairs to nowhere, and it's kind of like like, oh, but we'll be back for phase two, and like is that a thing? Like that's
yeah,
the
because
cleavage?
like with skate park funding, it's like a lot of the designs will go into like, like, hey, we can only get this much right now. We are going to do phase one, and like
Yeah,
a lot of times, like when you do phase one, like phase two, like probably doesn't come as much as you think it is, because like the project, you got a bit of it done, it loses steam, and then like that just makes everything harder. Like,
yeah, and you got to bring
it's
everybody back out to do it.
yeah, and so, but like doing this, like like you just got to take what you can get at a time sometimes, and like it sucks, but like it all goes towards like a bigger picture,
Definitely.
and or at least here, it's like that's what we're luckier than hell right now, because like hell, we've probably got five to six skate park projects in the city of Detroit going up in
Yeah,
the next 2 years.
and
Like the other suburbs, they get one park, and like that's their park for 20 years.
yeah, it's done. And that actually
So like,
brings me to a point that I noticed when I was reading about you guys and what you've done there in Detroit. You and I was impressed by this. You have a very positive. Like when the wig got closed down, I don't have the direct quote here, but basically you said it was almost like a blessing for you.
it was in a sense, because like
It's a weird
you
quote to
know
say, but explain what you were saying. Cause I knew when I read the article, I knew what you were saying.
you know because like I just dealt with the bullshit for 4 years,
Yeah,
like and that's I understand the price of business, but like it was absolutely draining, like for 4 years to have to answer the question, like what's up with the wig. No one ever asked what's up with Derrick. It's always
yeah.
what's up with the wig.
No one
And
asked about me how I feel.
and like it's like sometimes like you know it's death that like leads you into life. And it was you know it hurt me. It hurt me more than I anticipated, even knowing it was coming when they demolished it. But in a sense, it was like a new beginning. Like, I'm just glad it happened. I'm glad we got a good 5 years out of it. Like, it
Yeah,
was stressful at times, but like, fuck, that happened, and like we got to do that. And like, I don't know, there's like you know but it was bittersweet, because like it was I just it was down the street from my house, like
yeah, and you
you
got to
know
drive by, and like I have a similar experience with like a DIY spot, and even a skate shop where you kind of don't go down the street the same way you used to. It's
yeah,
kind of like watching ex girlfriend get nailed. Like it's just weird. It's just
yep,
like you're like, I'm glad she's living her life and happy, but I don't need to see it every day.
yeah.
Like,
And like, fuck, I have to drive past every day, and like
yeah,
the
yeah,
fucking amount of anxiety like I had, like right after that happened, like like I say, I drove the long way around, and
dude, totally. Yeah, I know 100% what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a deeply you can't
but
explain it to anybody. It's a weird thing. I want to talk about your mission statement here for community push and what I pulled off the site, and I'm gonna read it. Skateboarders bonded together. Start over. I fucked it up. Skateboarders banded together with a single goal in mind: to give the city a multifunctional alternative recreation facility to be designed, built, and maintained by the community for the community. That's like kind of what I pulled up on the site. Like that is amazingly concise. Now that you have let's say you have a list of achievements, like you have a body of work that's worked on that, like it's pretty rare for a governmental assisted program to kind of live up to the hype and exceed it, what you guys are doing, right?
yeah, I guess. And like it is so crazy to think that like that was that was our goal, the
Yeah.
wig. And then what ended up being Riverside, because
Okay.
the wig was a band-aid until we could get that $1 million park built.
Yeah.
And it's like, shit, well, that's built, it's not enough. We want more. And it's like we leverage that, $15,000 that we spent at the wig into, not one, not two, not three, not four parks. It's like in 2 years we're gonna have, we're gonna have too many options here. And then what do we do? So
Might
it
have to
does
go
feel
skate
good
the
to like,
streets.
well, that's the thing. We never stopped.
I know that's the best
It's
part.
like
Yeah.
we've all had our our days where we've gotten stuck at the wig, and even
Oh
more
yeah, for
recently,
sure, man. Yeah.
another DIY park Bishop, and but I don't know, that doesn't always suck. Like I don't know, I'm not turning pro. Like I'm not worried about going out filming, and I don't know if that's your thing. That's great. I'm glad people do that, but hell, I just want to skate with my friends.
Yeah,
If
dude.
everyone
I
wants
don't
to
know
stay
about
at
you
the
though.
wig
I haven't
today and
given
fuck
up.
around,
I'm stacking clips.
I'm cool with that. So yeah, it's we're in a really good situation here, and
Yeah.
it's I lose sight of it often because I'm so closely involved with it, but man, I'm just lucky to be doing what I'm doing and being in the position I'm in, because uh it's going good, and I know it's not going good everywhere. So
What this kind of this is like a good place to go right now. So what advice would you give to someone that in their city that wanted to start? Like I'm gonna do a couple hypothetical people that come to my skate shop, or my old skate shop, right? Like you got the kid that's like everything fucking sucks, right? Like let's remove those people because they're not gonna fucking do anything,
no.
right? But let's just say a kid's stuck in like a random city and wants to start what you do, what you've done. What's the first step this kid should do or this person should do?
uh Learn how to say please and thank you.
Ooh.
uh
You have
you know
media training. Yeah.
I, no, I've gotten better. It's I don't know, if you watch my Jankum piece from 4 or 5 years ago, oh my god, it's so bad. But I've had this conversation a lot, and it's I'm constantly learning, but that's the most important thing is mutual respect. If you don't respect them, they're not going to respect you. And any organization, being organized helps. But you're gonna get told no a bunch, and you just gotta be persistent with it, because like I said, we got told no quite a bit, and then all of a sudden everyone just started saying yes, because once the first person says yes, you've proven yourself,
Yeah.
um you kind of put your neck out there for skateboarders and hope that they don't screw you in return. And I haven't had that problem. The locals here are great.
Yeah.
Everyone's very friendly. Everyone there's passion here. People clean up after themselves. It's been good.
What for me with my skate shop, I don't miss owning a shop, but I thought I would. One of my friends sold a skate shop to our other friend, and this is before I had mine, and we were skating one night, the day of, right? And he had told me, he said, I was like, well, how you feeling, man? It's weird being on skateboarding. He goes, this is the best day of my life because for once I don't have to worry about where some kid bought his fucking shoes. And if you're in skateboarding, you understand that. What I miss about my shop is not brick and mortar at all. It's my kids. I really miss my kids. Seeing them grow up, seeing them fuck up, seeing me fuck up and having them see me fuck up, and then being a true hypocrite and being like, don't do what I just did.
Yeah.
Now I've seen in Detroit, there's a lot of good kids, everywhere there are, but particularly in Detroit that you guys have. Are you raising some kids there? Is that a similar thing where you saw them as babies at the wig and now they're becoming men and women? Is that?
Yeah, like that. The wig kids were they came at the perfect time. Things were it almost gotten stale up there for a little bit. Everything was the same for a couple of years, and they came. It was on a spring day they came, and every time you stop skating for a minute, they're hey, let me see your board, let me see your board, and I'm like, I don't. An hour later, they were doing rock to fakies.
Fuck yeah.
And so I ran to the house, put together some completes for him, and saw him every day for years after that. And
Yeah.
it's cool. Unfortunately, the twins moved out of the neighborhood.
Okay.
about a year ago. But Jamari and Day Day, they still live right over there, and
Sick.
I still see them around,
Nice.
every so often. But
I always, I always think about the conversion. Like I had some kids at my shop. The streets get them. Like there's nothing you can do about this. And Josh and Eric at Premier had a similar situation where like and they're where Premier is a lot. It's a proper city where my shop was is
yeah,
a tourist town. Um, but there's a conversion and it's a pretty low number in terms of like skate shops aren't rescuing kids, but they kind of can. And I remember if
yeah,
you get like one kid out, like one kid that kind of the feeling that you have, it's not even like I did this. It's just I'm not a parent that I know of, but like it has to feel that way. Like, and I mean, it's a compliment to you because I've seen some of these kids that go around your area, and you guys are proper old heads that teach the kids well. So well done on that front.
yeah. Thanks, I appreciate that. But like, kind of like when you read earlier with the mission statement. Man, I haven't updated our website in like probably 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
It's dated, but like now, we just go off like we just want to help.
yeah,
Like whatever crossroads, like whether it's helping other events, other organizations, helping locals, we can't do it all. We don't want to do it all, but like whatever you need, like I just want to help skateboarding here. I want to help skateboarders here, and I'm lucky to be able to do that because I don't know, I found myself in a pretty good position.
yeah. That's awesome. Well, it's because you worked hard to get it. Like it's not a mistake. Like it's not luck. It's like you met with any luck you had with hard work to get there. Okay, now that's all like nice and good stuff, but let's talk some shit now.
Okay, I
I
love
want to go
talking
back. How
shit.
did Tony Hawk get involved with Detroit and buying a
Uh,
mansion there?
well, I don't. His wife is from here,
Gotcha.
and another. I don't know if you know James Toomey
I do.
from out. Yeah,
Yeah.
like he's legendary skater, filmer,
Realtor.
now realtor. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I
dude.
was just gonna say, like Pretty Gritty, I think is like the best visual representation of skateboarding in Detroit,
Yeah.
and now like he is 100% gonna be like the first millionaire homie because
That's
like
so sick.
he's taking over. Like I said, skateboarders, like whatever they put their minds to, they master. And Jim just cracked the code for real estate.
Dude, he's
But
like Court Town Daddy, man. Like that
but but yeah, he sold Tony a house like right on the other side of the freeway from their wig
yeah.
in Corktown.
Is it true that
And
like someone not, I'm not gonna say his office, and I don't know how I heard this, but did someone accidentally leak that he bought that house?
yeah,
Yeah,
from what I hear, yeah.
that's so funny.
But like I don't know, I'd be pretty excited if I sold my childhood hero house.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Like,
Yeah.
um,
But
and then when
but
you did this podcast, right?
well, it was like it was the Tony Hawk Foundation Skatepark podcast that I
Yeah,
did.
tell me about that episode. That's
Uh,
I love this
yeah,
story.
it's like the only other podcast interview I'd done, and I just asked him to ask Tony why he unfollowed Community Push on Instagram, and like I never noticed that stuff, but like like when he had first like kind of gotten connected with us, like he like that was like a big moment, like getting that
Yeah,
notification like Tony Hawk follows you, and then all of a sudden like he was liking everything else. I'm like, man, I haven't seen it from him in a while. I checked, and it is what it
hey,
is. Like
hey,
I'm
what's
not
up,
mad
Tony?
about it, but he's been great. Like I said, like since like the foundation's got they've hooked up so many cities out here with
Yeah,
parks. He's come in like one afternoon, like he was out here, and and I wanted to take him out and kind of show him some of the stuff we were working on to see if like we could get a project going on something. And this was like just as Riverside was like we started talking about that. And I took him to the site, show him around, just kind of asked him like who are some of his favorite builders. And at the time we were working on an indoor spot that we're trying to get. And as kind of like a timestamp, this was like, or I guess I'll get to that later in the story, but so the project, we were going to build a indoor park and in this abandoned school,
okay.
but like we're going to renovate the actual part of the school, and you know not just do like a DIY in a abandoned building, which would be pretty on brand for us. But So I went and picked him up at his house, and
Wait, you're driving?
oh, what?
You're driving?
Oh yeah, I'm driving.
Okay.
So at the time I
Motherfucker
had
didn't
like
even
this
get a rental
shit.
car for you? You had to burn your gas?
I was
This
gonna
is
mad
what I,
about
okay.
that,
Right,
but
keep telling the story.
so side part of the story. The weekend before, me and some friends drove out to Cream City in Milwaukee,
Yeah, hell yeah.
and for some reason, I had cleaned out my kitchen the week before, and I had 61 extra Tupperware lids. And for
61 extra tough.
yeah, they had no bottoms and nowhere to go. So I took we took this box of Tupperware lids and took on a skate trip.
Okay.
And we stayed in Chicago for a while, then like woke up and went to Cream City.
Wait,
It
why
was
did you
the
take the
middle of
lids
winter.
on a skate trip?
I don't know.
Oh, you weren't leaving them or people? Were you signing them?
We just made an edit with all the lids and like just kind of like worked them into the trip. And so we did that, and my car just has Tupperware lids all over. It's a little Ford Focus hatchback that has Tupperware lids on the dashboard, on the floor, on the seats. It's all over. So he's like, "Yeah, can you drive?" I'm just like, "Oh shit."
Dude.
So yeah, he gets in the car, like sees all the Tupperware lids, and he just kind of laughs. He's like, "Yeah, I miss being able to do stupid shit like that with my friends." So we get to this school where we were gonna do the park, and at the time, like, it was wide open. We just walked right in. I showed him like the auditorium where we were gonna do it. And, it's like a cold, rainy day, and I look over, and he's just kind of like shook a little bit, like. But then I'm thinking, oh my god, what am I doing? Like, this isn't like just one of your like boys. Like, this is like, he was like,
This
as
is
a
Birdman.
timestamp of like this like moment in time was like he was skating in the White House like the week before. It was like when Obama was getting ready to leave and he skated down the hallway. I'm like, God damn it, this guy was skating in the White House last week. And now I just got him going through this wet ass building, like showing him about this park that we never ended up doing. But he's like, yeah, and kind of was in a hurry to get out of there. But it was crazy because it was kind of pretty much one of the coolest things that had happened since then was or since I started doing this was like he's like, yeah, come by, I gotta get back. A friend is meeting me, and his friend ended up being Wes Eishold from American Nightmare and Cold Cave. And like American Nightmare was like my favorite band growing up, so it was
Yeah.
like I drop him off, and like Tony Hawk introduces me to Wes as like, oh hey, this is my friend Derrick. And it was just like one of those like, what the fuck
Damn.
is going on right now situations.
Wait, I want to
But
ask what everyone wants to know. Did Tony Hawk throw you $5 for gas?
no, he threw us $250,000 for Riverside, so
Fair enough. Just
I'll
saying.
take I'll take the
Tony,
gas and the
five
chain.
bucks would have been nice. Like that's like a Michigan
Uh,
thing, you put the 5 in the console. Like, oh,
yeah,
that's amazing.
he
So,
might have, but no, like I said, he's been great. He was like an honorary wig local, like
yeah,
you
that's
know,
sick.
him and his kids would like skate across the bridge and come skate over there, like, and that was just so cool, like
Yeah.
being there with him and like just people going out show up to skate at the wig and just running into Tony Hawk, like, fuck man, like,
Does he still have that
it,
place there?
I don't believe so. I
Yeah.
heard it was I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been I haven't seen him in about a year or so.
Okay.
It
Tony,
was
if
cool.
you're out there,
I did just come say hi.
come say
But
hi.
I actually reached out to him recently because it was crazy how I got roped in, but Colin Reed hit me up and was like, "Hey, like I heard that like, you might be able to help us out because when they were doing the skaters vote video,
Yeah.
like he's like, like they wanted, the skateboarder to do it."
Yeah.
And to the voiceover, and I don't know how, but I ended up being the liaison between Colin Reed and Tony Hawk. And so yeah, I hit him up to see if he was down to do it, and he ended up coming through for him.
Do you have his number in your
So
phone?
maybe
That's
I
man, that's a
I have a number in his phone. He probably changes it.
yeah, he probably has like 10. He's on that like Kevin Hart shit, I'm sure.
Uh,
That's fucking awesome though. That's really cool that he did that.
let's
And
see if
his kids would come around. You don't need to show it. I hope that and you're looking
yeah,
at your text right now and you do have
yeah.
it in there and the last text was at like 3 a.m. and you wrote you up. Like, Where you at, man? All
Well,
right, we'll start wrapping up now. So, what's the project now? What are you working on, like right now? Not the city, but spot wise.
uh, we just kind of got into an indoor building. It's kind of been our goal for a couple of years is to get an indoor spot going. There's no affordable or accessible options in the city. But it's hard. It's a hard nut to crack because
Yeah,
you're only busy half the year. And like with Evan Hutchings, like one of my best friends, one of our partners, like he had the street skate park in Westland that was open for a while, and it's what a what a battle it's going to be to try to figure out a way to you know keep it affordable and keep the lights on. So
definitely. Is
we're
is keep going. Sorry.
so yeah, we're going to try our hand at that. It's not the biggest building, but it's it'll be just suitable for a while. And
Is Dunwell still there? Dunwell Dry Goods?
yeah,
Oh, they're
Pat's killing
sick. I only went
uh,
there once, but who's the guy that made God that video?
Anthony Rossini.
Okay, yeah, he I was there. It was like me and Braden Kavanaugh from Grand Rapids.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but like we were all skating in Detroit. I think Sean McMahon might have been with us, but we were all skating, and then he had a chip shirt, and I was like, oh, that's like this, like let me buy one, dude. Anthony's like, oh, I only made one, and he just took it off his back and gave it to me, and I'm in Brooklyn, I have it at my house, like
That's awesome.
I wear
Yeah,
that shit
it sounds like
all the
Anthony.
time. And
Hell
then
yeah.
mini ramp was really cool, so big ups
Yeah,
to them. So yeah, that guy was
that's
cool. And then
right.
like they had the I almost said Jay Strickland, no, Street Canoe did the sign for
Yeah,
them.
Jay Cross. Yeah,
Yeah, dude, oh, dude, that was such a cool
yeah,
shot.
but like I went. He's doing a run of boards for us right now, and I went in there a couple weeks ago to talk to him about it, and you know, he's got like all the homies working there. He's got I think like 5 or 6 full-time employees
At
right now,
Dunwell?
and like yeah,
Oh,
like
sick,
like they're killing it with the printing.
dude,
He
awesome,
still makes boards. He still has like hard goods, but like yeah, but like the printing's really taken off for him.
good. That so wait, are they doing? You're doing heat transfer or screen print boards for
Screen
community
printing.
push?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
we've only made boards I think like 4 other times. So
yeah.
every once in a while we'll do like a quick run of them, and we
Well,
kind
I
of got
want
this
to.
idea.
I'll put a link in the bio that we can support buying, but I want to buy one. Put me down for selling me one because I'll put it in the back of this. Will be a wall of boards.
All right. Yeah, I don't have a web store.
Oh, I
We
thought.
started one on the website.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
up, but I never activated it.
Gotcha. I like the photo of Ryan Sheckler wearing the community push T-shirt. I like that post a lot. Did you ever meet
Man,
Ryan Sheckler, or did you just get that?
yeah, like when they came out and did Heartlines, like uh one time, like the first year they did it, like they Red Bull set up this thing where they came and shot like one of his YouTube show, like one of the episodes of his YouTube video.
Hell yeah.
They came and shot at the wig and like talked about it, and he gave us a jackhammer and a cement mixer,
Nice.
and then he said he was gonna give us $5,000 and never did.
Oh man,
And
I
like
was at Street
and like
League. I was at Street League in
it,
Chicago, right? I was talking to his mother for like a while. Um, never met him, but nice lady.
she was the one I had to talk to get the money,
And
because
she
like
never did.
afterwards I followed up with it, but then she tells me like, well, this next wave of grants is gonna be done through a crowd vote, and they ended up like putting us up against. She's like, we'll put you right into the finals, and
What?
so they put us in the finals against these other organizations. They're like trying to get money for kids with cancer, and like I'm like, I can't tell
Damn,
people
you
to
got
vote for us when like I'd rather have them get the money. Like,
yeah. You got Make a Wish Foundation.
yeah, it's like I believe in what we're doing. Like I'm gonna
Yeah,
find a way to fund this. Like I'd rather see the money go to them.
yeah, but that's
And
kind of cunty. Like that's kind of some check in the mail shit right there.
but and that was the thing. It's like, and then like maybe a month or two later when the YouTube show aired, sure as hell he puts it in the show. Oh, I'm gonna give you $5,000. So I had to answer to everybody and tell them like why Sheckler's check never came.
I'm fucking putting that on. I'm putting it on blast. Where's the 5Gs? He's got
And
it.
like like I don't know if it was done deliberately, or if it kind of just got lost in the shuffle,
Yeah,
because it was like the first year they did this Heartlines contest here, and I didn't want to ruin a potentially good business relationship over the money, so like
yeah.
I let it slide, because
Well,
there was like, yeah, we want to work with you guys every year, we come and do the contest, and then like the next year, like the only involvement we had was like I got hired by California Ramp Works to build the course.
Well, let's not let's just assume that it got lost in the shuffle. But we
Yeah,
will reach out to Ryan Sheckler and we will say, dude, $5,000, make checks payable to
but
community push.
technically 4,000 because we did get a check for $1,000 to do for being in the finals, and like they
Okay.
sent us like a box of like boards and like Ethica underwear and stuff. It was like it was cool, but like that was just like I don't know. Then I felt like thought I was lying to them.
Yeah.
Like, you want to see the fucking check stub, like,
Yeah.
but
You know what? Maybe you just got
it
lost.
helped.
Maybe,
Every bit helps, but like
yeah.
I don't. Those are just uncomfortable conversations you don't want to have with people, and like you don't want to risk people's trust over like something I had nothing to fucking do with.
Yeah. It'd be weird to be your reputation's slighted by Ryan Sheckler.
But no, he was nice. He was nice when he came out and like like I said, he bought us a jackhammer and cement mixer that we still use,
That's
and
cool.
like and yeah, we had like a finished trowel painted for him, and like as like a thank you for for hooking us up, and then like we gave him like the trowel and a t-shirt, and it was like the after party for the contest, and he just fucking rips off his shirt and puts this one on.
Hell yeah.
So
Yeah, that's man. Well, yeah, that's. I hope he comes through with some dough.
oh shit, hold on, I got one for you. Hold on one second.
Yes. Oh fuck yes. I'm excited right now. I hope you come out with like it's gonna be some type of painting. What is it? Oh shit! Wait.
I'm pretty sure this one's his.
No,
Like,
flip it over. Flip it over. Look in the tag on the inside. Is there a tag inside?
yeah.
Does it say athletes only? Or do you
I
take
don't
it
see
out?
one because when they did that contest,
Yeah.
like I said, that the third year they did it, they had the after party at the Garden Bowl,
Yeah.
which was like I don't, it's like legendary bowling alley, and like it's a skate bar for the most part, and it was cool. I was working there for a couple of years, and like so like I was working the night they had the after party, and fuck man, they left a mess, but I don't. I found that hat cleaning up that night.
Dude, that's it. It's a $4,000 ransom to get that hat back.
I know how much they care about those hats.
Dude, they do. So when they used to, my background, when they used to, when those hats were new, they used to have people that worked for them on eBay buying the fake ones or reporting the fake ones
Ooh.
because Red Bull would pay to just buy the fake ones so they weren't on there anymore. Now you can't because there's a lot more, obviously, and manufacturing is different, but they care. Like the newer ones say athletes only, and like, yeah, it's a weird thing, man. That's an amazing find.
Yeah, like I heard a story from someone that worked there about like a DJ that they endorsed,
Okay.
like had a set, and he was like doing the set, and like a girl like took his hat off and like got a selfie wearing the hat, and they dropped him because of it.
I know a
Like,
skier that I shouldn't tell this. I'm gonna tell it. I know a skier that got fired by them and then put all this shit on eBay and made like
like
$3,000 on the
yeah,
hats and shit.
like I love and hate, like they gave us a good start like with the
Yeah,
wig, but then like as the years went on, they kind of just fizzled out, and like
yeah,
I haven't spoke with them in a couple of years. They were supposed to give us like $45,000 to do this big event,
yeah.
and like it was like a street art festival where we built a skate park down an alley,
Okay.
and so that was pretty much to cover like the build out of the park, and we were going to like fly in like different skate crews from across the country, and like produce like a whole week's worth of events, and we had worked our asses off on it, and this is what the guy was saying he was gonna give us, and then we were like a month out, and I call him like, hey, like we're getting close, like can you cut that check? And he's like, oh yeah man, just invoice me for 3,500. I was like, bro, like you spend that on dinner, like how are you gonna? And I never even sent him the invoice. That was the last time I talked to anyone at Red Bull, and
Holy fuck! What was the
he
original
made
amount for? 45,000.
45, yeah, and like I was so mad, and it's like I don't, I appreciate anyone that comes through and helps us, but like, man, you just killed me on that one. Like,
Fucking
but
hell.
it ended up working out great because, we made a call to Vans and they took care of us. Not to that, to that level, but they
Yeah.
turned around quick and got us money right away. And we've had a good relationship with them since. And it's been cool, like, having them in our corner. I haven't had to pay for shoes in a couple of years, and
Nice.
every event and everything we do, like, they've been in our corner. So it worked out for the
That's
best.
good on too, but man, Red Bull, woo,
Yeah.
that's some
And
fucking weird shit.
yeah, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I would still take that over the fucking ugly green M's. Like I don't even, wouldn't even want to send them a proposal or a deck. Like,
God.
we actually, one time we made when we made hoodies, uh somebody else mocked up the design and we ended up printing 100 hoodies that had 3 M's in community.
Like
And it's like, fuck, that's a big cost for us. And like, we didn't even realize it until we sold them all.
oh my God, that's
My roommate Alex was like brushing his teeth, looking in the mirror, and kind of looked at it and like, sure as hell, you can't really tell from the font. No one ever said anything to us about it. We noticed that there's 3 M's in community.
I would
And,
love to work at Monster and be their marketing guy and just like
but
push the whole thing of like Monster Energy drink is like the official
That's-
drink of teen pregnancy.
30-year-old grandmothers. But
so savage.
we joked about like kind of make it like mocking it up to where like the third M pops out and turns into like the monster M, and like
Ooh,
it's doing like a whole like video for it. But
that's
I
savage. Get
I
you one
always
of
have
this.
all these ideas that we don't execute. It would have
Yeah,
been fun.
I'm very guilty of that too. But I kind of fuck with the 3Ms. I guess wrapping up now. Trying to think. The Red Bull hat's so fucking good. By far, I had no idea where you were going. I thought you were gonna bring back like a T-shirt or something, but that was next level.
Yeah, like but then yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. It's just been sitting around for years. Like, I don't want to get rid of it. It's kind of funny to have.
You should wear it at an airport and you'll get like free shit. You could definitely get some phone numbers for sure.
Or once things start opening up back up again, wear it to like their events, so they think that
Yeah, dude, you could definitely do that. One of my not only my friend, this guy I know used to come to my skate shop. He used to like work marketing for him, and he would drive around the Red Bull car, the little cars, and he kept getting speeding tickets. And he got fired for too many speeding tickets. And it's just like, I thought it was Red Bull. I thought you guys were extreme. Like, should promote them. Where
he hit 88 miles an hour and didn't get wings.
It gives you wings. If someone wants to help out right now at Community Push with everything you're doing, where can they go? What can they do?
Oh, it's just real hard right now. Like I said, with the website, like, I don't like taking money from skateboarders. I don't like
Yeah.
selling stuff to them. But we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot not
Yeah.
doing it. So we're working on that now, getting like a Patreon and
Okay.
it's a place set up to where you could help. I just don't want to give take people's money for nothing. Like, I would at least like to do it in the way of merchandise or something. But
Yeah.
if I had my way, I would do all this without taking $1 from a skateboarder.
Okay.
We've been pretty good about it so far. Like, the merch we do, like I said, the web store, like, we never even open. The stuff we make, I just sell at events. Like, but if you want to help, hang tight.
Okay.
Like, it's coming together now, especially like with this new building that we're doing. Like, I'm using it for my, it's almost like this is like phase 2 for Community Push.
Okay.
Like, everything, the wig up to Riverside, we could call phase 1 or act 1. And like, now, like, we're looking, like, we're going to expand. We're bringing some more volunteers on and kind of like opening up more. So it's not just me trying to run around like an idiot trying to figure it all out last minute. Like, we've been very fortunate to be at where we're at, but I think we can get a lot more done if we tighten up a little bit. And so yeah, you you'll be able to help soon, and I appreciate anyone that's helped to this point.
Fuck yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks, dude, so much for doing this.
No, thanks for having me. It was good to catch up with you.
That's been displayed on here. I'll link to everything on there too.
Cool.
Thank you so much, Derrick. I guess I'll just call it Max White Presents.
Max White, everyone.